Hello, hello. So thrilled to be here with you guys today. It's going to be a fun time. It's actually a little bit of an experiment. I've never done this in this format before, where we're going to be diving in, walking through the process, actually taking action on what I'm teaching. Well, I do that throughout all my webinars, but we're going to go even more in depth where you really get it done, and we have that time to have me give you feedback and support you as you go along. So this is going to be fun. I'm excited, and I have no idea really how long it's going to take. I've kind of given that span of some time, but we're in this. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna see who all shows up. If we only have a few ladies coming on, then there probably will be, it'll probably go a lot quicker. So we're just gonna go with the flow, see where it takes us. I'm excited to share this with you. So what we're gonna do, this is kind of how it's gonna roll down, I think, and I'm open to be flexible, and I hope you are too. You guys can hear me and see me okay, right? I should ask that first. I just wanna make sure you guys can hear and see me. I'm just gonna type that in the chat just to make sure that you guys can hear and see me. Hello, Tracy. Hi, Dottie. Yes, good. Hi, Andy. Hi, Heidi. Love it. Oh, you guys all have E on the last of your, like the end of your name. Dottie, Heidi, Andy, Tracy. That's kind of funny. Okay, anyways. So fun. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'm going to start. Okay, Tracy, well, we're gonna have to dive into that too. Hi, Susan, happy to have you here. So a Facebook challenge. Facebook challenge is just a rundown. Basically, it's a 5-day experience. It's a free thing, a free event that you host on Facebook. And so therefore it's a Facebook challenge. My very first one, I'm going to talk about a few different ones and how they've helped me in my business. But honestly, when I had 0 list, I did a Facebook challenge and I had 200 people, I believe, the very first time. And it was the way that I started growing my list. It was the way that I actually got onto the online space, and it was easy. It was low tech, it was simple, it was fun, it got so much engagement and connection happening, and that's where I find that I have really high conversion rates into whatever I'm offering. So a Facebook challenge can be 30 days, but I don't recommend it. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. But typically what I recommend is a 5 to 7 day challenge. So every day in Facebook, you're going to post a video and you're going to have an action step. Or you don't have to post a video. It can just be written. We're going to talk about that too. But typically what I do is I post a video, have a simple worksheet, and then throughout the day I ask questions or I give them a challenge, like they need to do this and they need to share it in the group. So it's a challenge, it's an experience. It's short, simple, but powerful because people get results in that 5-day span. They get these big, awesome results by taking simple action. And so that gives them, it's like a taste test. It's like an appetizer to your work. So then when you open up the doors to your product or your program, then they've already had this little taste test of what it's like to work with you and what kind of results they can get with you. So then they're all in. They're super excited to then sign up. Right? And also it's just a great way, even if they don't sign up. I know that people recommend my work all over the place. And the reason is because in these challenges, people get results. People are able to get so much powerful content and training that then it's like a no-brainer to recommend me because they're getting an experience with me where they really get to taste of my coaching and my work and my knowledge. And so even if they haven't worked with me, they're referring me just from my free content that I've done in my challenges. So it's a really powerful way to grow your audience, to grow your list, to give valuable content that really makes a difference and gets a lot of people knowing about you and your work and becoming raving fans. And it also is an amazing way to fill your products and programs. So that is what a Facebook challenge is. I hope that makes sense and you understand now a little bit better on what a Facebook challenge is. Okay, great. Sorry, Andy. Glad I am here. Glad you can hear me. All right. So what we're going to do is I'm going to walk you through each of the 7 steps of a Facebook challenge. This is from my Facebook challenge webinar, but what we're going to do is we're actually going to take time at each of the steps, and I'm going to ask you for feedback. We're going to dive into it while we're here together. So you can ask questions. You can say, this is what I want to do. What do you think? And we're going to brainstorm, and we're going to create it today, right here and now. Okay, so we're creating your challenge as we work through the training. Sound good? Give me a heck yeah if that sounds good. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and share my screen. Just so you guys know, this webinar, I should have redone it. I should have redone it to be bigger font. So the font is kind of small, so I know it'll be a little bit hard to see, but I'm going to be walking through it, and I'm going to be talking you through it, and I will send you the slides as well. But just so you know that it is a little bit small font, but you'll still be able to hear me, and I'll be walking you through it, and we'll be taking action. Okay, yes, 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 let's get started. I'm just gonna go find my screen share. All right, can you guys see my screen now? Just wanna make sure you can see the slide. So just let me know if you can see the slide, and I'm going to start going through this. So the first thing we're going to talk about is knowing your why you want to be creating this Facebook challenge in the first place. We're going to set your dates. We're going to figure out what this Facebook challenge is going to lead into, if it's going to lead into an offer or into coaching. Tracy, you can't see it, but Heidi, you can. Tracy, maybe Tracy, try to refresh your screen. I'm not sure, because it should be showing up. It should be Get It Done series, create your Facebook challenge. Hopefully you can see it now, Tracy. Let me know. Create the content. So we're actually gonna go through and create the content, add in the U factor, add more value, the promotion inside of it, and then how it will help to sell out your program. And I'm gonna give you a few case studies. The screen I'm just gonna is above. It looks like a video. You have to refresh your browser and hit play. Should be there. Okay, perfect. She's good now. Okay, great. Okay, so this is what we're going to be going through. So step number 1, I want you guys to all have either your laptop open to a fresh page that you can type away in, or a paper and pen if that's how you work best. But we're going to be taking action, and I want you writing these things down. So the first step is I want you to write a big fat Y at the top of your page, or type that out, because in everything we do, we need to understand why we're doing it. And that's really important, because as we start to freak out, if not as many people are signing up, or whatever the thing may be that causes a little bump in our road, we need to be able to come back to our why to really get back to that place of, okay, this is why I'm doing this. Let's hunker down, let's get creative, let's figure out a new solution. So everything you do in business, always you need to know your why for each thing. So some of the ideas of why you might want to do a Facebook challenge are, firstly, to build connection. So when I launched, I think it was my 2nd or 3rd time, I decided I was going to be just like the bigwigs. I was going to be just like the gurus out there, like the Marie Forleos of the groups, and I was going to do a 3-part video training series. And I had watched a million of them, so I knew that this is something that so many people use to get a lot of people into their programs. And it's one of the main tactics that a lot of people use for marketing. So I was like, I'm gonna do this. And it was it was like crickets. Well, there were still people that signed up, but I actually switched and added in a Facebook challenge after the video series because I wasn't getting the same conversions. So when I looked at it and I assessed it, as you should, every time you launch or put something or create something, you need to look back and what worked, what didn't, and why. And when I looked at it, I realized that a big part of my business and how I serve and how I work with people is based on connection. And when I did just a video training series, I couldn't interact, right? Like I couldn't ask questions and have them get feedback, and there wasn't that ongoing conversation or really getting to know them or that real deeper connection that I love. And so that's where Facebook challenges provides a really deep connection with people where they really get to know you and you get to know them. And so there's this powerful synergy between you, and it's a beautiful thing. Whether or not they sign up with you, you have really deepened that connection. So that's a huge thing, is to use a Facebook challenge just to get greater connection with those who are already on your list. It's a great way to just give back to your list. It's a great way to build new connections, and really, really have that deeper connection with people so they understand you and your work that much better. Another why that you could have is to grow your list. So as I mentioned, this was the only tactic I used to launch my 10K program. The first time that I launched and had that big 10K launch, I had about 200 people on my list, but that came from my first challenge. So I only had about 200 people on my list. I had a 10K launch. It came from almost all of my list building has come around Facebook challenges. It's a great way. So many people sign up because it's not just a free workbook or a free gift. It's actually an experience and an event. Oops, hold on one sec. Well, that's embarrassing. I have my kids home for spring break, and so that was one of my kids' friends trying to Skype, and they used my Skype address. So there you go. Okay, so I'm just looking now. Just want to make sure you guys are with me. Okay, so growing your list. Honestly, it's one of the best ways to grow your list. It's amazing. This last launch that I just did, I had over 2,000 people sign up for the 2 challenges that I did. The first one I did, I had 1,500 sign up, and I did a lot of promotion for that. And then the second one was about 500. So that's 2,000 people added to my list. And not all of them are sticking around, and that's fine. But that's really, really a powerful way to build your list in a short amount of time and really build a great list, because they'll know you and love you after that challenge, okay? Another why is to serve your community. So I mentioned this with the connection piece, but you can do a challenge just for the simple reason to do a challenge, and I want to do this more. It's quite an interesting thing. In business, I realize that I go all in and I give so much in my launch time, and then when my launch is over, I'm serving so deeply in my community that I have just had people sign up for, that I really find that I pull back and I lose that interaction with my audience. And that's something that I personally need to look deeper on and really assess. But one of the things that I really want to get doing is serving my community on an ongoing basis, doing more challenges just to serve, just not to lead them into a product or a program, but just simply to serve. So you can totally do a challenge without the idea of it leading into a product or program. You can do it just to serve and to grow your list. Another why is to show your skills. So when you do any other kind of launch strategy, you still highlight your knowledge base. You still highlight what you know, the results you can get people and what you're all about. But I personally have been through a lot of launches, and yes, video trainings are great. Yes, webinars are great. But I feel that one of the best ways to really highlight who you are and the skills that you bring to the table is through that Facebook challenge, because then people are going to be like, wow, I didn't realize how amazing she was at XYZ until I was in there and I experienced it firsthand. Okay, so that's a really great thing for a reason to do it. And you can have more than one reason why you want to host a Facebook challenge. Another obvious one is that you want to use it as part of your launch strategy to promote a program or product. And that's kind of a given. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to write down on your piece of paper, but also I want you to share in the chat box, why do you want to host a Facebook challenge? And we'll move on after we dive in. So with each of these steps, I really want to take some time to get things done. I want you guys to be walking through this with me. And I really want you to get results today and get things done. So share with me why you want to host your Facebook challenge in the chat box, as well as write it down on your paper or wherever you're starting your notes for this event. Hello, Indira. Happy to have you. All right. I know there is a delay, so I'm hoping that you guys are busy writing. Okay, good. So Dottie says, I'm going to promote a program. Good. That's her why. You want to fill up your program. And just so you guys know, the big wigs who I was looking to that do the video series alone, Heidi, to get known, build your list, and then promote. Perfect. I want to do a Facebook challenge to grow my list and promote a program. Perfect. Awesome, awesome. So just kind of as a little heads up to test the concept. Oh, that's a great one, Tracy. That should be on my slides, actually. To test something out. That is so brilliant. It's like doing, when you're about to do a program, if you do a Facebook challenge that really ties into the program, you can really test the market. And you can test the wording and you can test the results and you can see what people are asking. That's a great, great thing. Actually, from one of my challenges, that is what I did too, was I really took some of the pain points and some of the questions that were coming up in the challenge to address those during my launch. So it's a great way to do that. Susan says, promotion, growing list. I think it helps to get the right people into my orbit and program. Yes. Right. Okay. So she says, I'm totally scared of attracting the wrong ones and then struggling to serve them. Can I just share? I actually just had an experience like this. So what happened was I had someone who wanted to sign up for Center Stage, but she was humming and hawing and she kept emailing me back and forth a lot of things and sending me like her complete business plan and wanting me to look over it to see if this was a fit. And I offered to hop on the phone, but it wasn't working for her time zone. Then she decided maybe I'll do the 10K with you guys and just do the 10K. And I was going to let her in, you know, she would pay the $9.97 to get in for that 10K in a weekend that we just completed. But again, it wasn't right for her time zone. And I said, there's lots of people that are, you know, that are in Europe and it's a tricky time zone, but they're making it work. And anyways, lots of back and forth. And then we worked out that we would do one-on-one work. And I should have, you know, little red flags go up, but knowing, I'm sharing this because you have the ability to say, you know what, I don't think that we're the right fit. So even if you attract the wrong ones, you can still weed them out in your products, programs. Not always in your programs, because sometimes they'll just sign up anyways, and you can't say no. But if it's one-on-one work, you can definitely do that. So anyways, we went through the first session. Each session went over by about 20 minutes because there was just so much. It was such a, I've never had this before, where when I do a story session, there's so much resistance, and I've always had like people in tears and they're like mind blown, and for some reason it was just like pulling teeth. And finally, after the second session, I actually wrote her a very nice email and I just said, you know what, I feel like I'm gonna just refund you half of the money, even though we did 2 out of the 3 sessions. I don't think that we're the right fit and I should have tuned into that sooner. But here's what you got from our time anyways, which is huge value considering what you're gonna be paying. Anyways, and she said, oh, I'm so relieved. I was feeling the same way. And I think that sometimes we both left amicably. We both said we love and adore each other because as people we do, but in the way that I work and the way that she works, it was just not meshing. I'm very organic and I want to just listen. She wanted me to read absolutely everything and then give her feedback on what she's already created. And I'm very much about let's go wherever the flow takes us. So it was just not the right fit. And I share that because I think a lot of times we think that we have to continue to serve people even when it feels like we're pulling our hair out, and that's not the case. So you need to just know that that doesn't have to be yeah, for sure. So she was not an ideal client for sure. And that's the thing, like you don't always know until you jump in and start working with someone either, but there's definitely, you start to realize, right? And having the courage to say, I don't think we're that fit is important. So, okay, that was a big tangent, but I just wanted to address that fear, Susan. So I hope that helps you to release those fears that yes, you're gonna attract all kinds, but really the ones, if you're really true to who you are and really clear on your messaging, people are going to be attracted to you that are your one, because you're so clear about that. And so in this work that we're doing together, you're going to be so clear that the right ones are going to find you. Because I really do attract all very heart-centered women who are really, you know, we want to make money, yes, but that's not our biggest focus. It's really about serving and getting our message out there and having an impact. And those are the women that I serve, which are a very different breed than those who are just out for the money, right? And that is really felt and seen in my communities, in my live events. And so you just need to get clear on who you are and shine that bright, and the right people will come. Okay, you guys are awesome. We're gonna move on to step two. Step two, okay, here's how we're gonna set our dates. So I want you guys either getting out a not calculator. See, I love my calculator. We're not gonna use our calculator this time, but getting out your calendars and really figuring out, we're gonna work backwards a little bit to set your dates. But first I'm showing this as a 6-week span. So from planning the challenge to hosting the challenge, promoting your program, and starting your program. So this is if you are putting on a program, okay? So I want you to think, if I'm not promoting a program, you still are gonna do up to hosting the challenge, right? So, and it doesn't have to be maybe as much time promoting it if you're just doing it for that serving your community and growing your list, although you still want to get as many people into your challenge as possible, whether you're promoting your program or not. So with this, you don't always have to have that whole week to plan your challenge. It can be in a day like today. It can be while you're promoting it, but you do have to have that clear idea, but you can further prepare the content as you're promoting it, if that makes sense. So you have to plan it out, get the ideas, get the copy, get all those things ready. And that does usually take kind of that week span. Then I do like to give myself 2 weeks to promote the challenge. Some people do it in just a week. Some people, actually the last challenge I did that did really well, I promoted it for almost 3 weeks. And that was the first time I had ever promoted it that long, and it did really, really well. So that is probably something I'm going to do next time when I have a really big launch. I will promote it for a longer span of time. But 1 to 2 weeks is great, 2 to 3 weeks, that kind of a thing. Then week 4, so you're gonna have the next week is gonna be where you actually host a challenge. And I have really found that 5 to 7 days is optimal for interaction and interest. The reason is I have done a calculator intervention. I totally need a calculator intervention. Oh man, it's so funny. Allison, so great to see you. Yes, growing your list and more consistent connection. Love it. So when I did a challenge for 2 weeks, I found the first week was super engaged and the second week really drastically dropped off. It's the same when you do a video challenge, video series, sorry. You're going to have that first video, everyone's gonna watch. Well, not everyone, but the majority of people will watch. The second video, you're gonna have a big chunk that don't, or that miss it, or that just get busy and forget. And then your third is gonna be even less. So that's why the video series too, you lose people a lot quicker when it's just going to their email, whereas the Facebook challenge, if you get them on day 1, you can usually get them sticking around for that 5 days, right? And then yes, things start to fall off. So definitely that 5 to 7 days is a great time frame, and that's what I would recommend. And I kind of missed actually under promote the challenge. I said it takes 2 weeks to get the best results, but this is where you're going to decide on a plan to promote it. You're going to create the graphics and the landing page, and you're going to start sharing, okay? For hosting the challenge, make sure that you have time and space in your calendar to be completely present during the challenge. There are some people who don't get as involved as I do in the challenge, but I think if you are doing this intense challenge, you're promoting the heck out of it, this is really your chance to shine, then why wouldn't you dedicate the majority of your time getting in there and supporting those people who have shown up, okay? So that's my philosophy, is that if you're doing a challenge, you better be there and engaging with your audience. You also need to create the content that keeps them engaged and feeling supported while getting results. And we're going to dive into that deeper in just a little bit. Then after the challenge is done, I like to give at least 1 to 2 weeks. Well, 1 to 2 weeks is good. So I give 1 to 2 weeks. This last time I did another challenge and then I had another 2 weeks. So I really extended my launch time this time. And I'm not sure that it benefited me that much, because I think still having that closer deadline of when the program starts creates a little bit more urgency in people. And so after that first challenge, I lost a few people just because there was another challenge, more promotion, more time, and then the cart closed. So I would do next time just that one big challenge and just really focus on delivering that great value then. So promoting, you do want to have that 1 to 2 weeks though, because if you didn't get as many people into your challenge as you had hoped for, or if not as many are converting into your program as you had hoped, you want to have a little bit of time and space to reach out one-on-one, to follow up with people, to do something different, to get creative. So sometimes all of a sudden on the spur of the moment, I'm like, let's do a webinar. Let's do a free Q&A call. Let's do a contest. So when I do my launch plan, I always have some ideas and plans laid out and everything's prepared. And then I really allow myself a little bit of time to get creative, to figure out what needs to be done on the spur of the moment, to really get those sales coming in a little bit more, those people saying yes a little bit more. Okay, so there is that 2-week time frame before you start your program that gives you that time to change it up. Do we get to keep the slides? Yes, I will send you a PDF of the slide information for sure. Okay, yes, for sure. So now what I want you guys to do is I want you to actually look at your calendars. So I want you to get out your calendars. I want you, for those of you who said you want to have this be that you are promoting your program, I want you to look at the start date that you want to have your program start at, and I want you to work backwards. So if you want to start your program May 2nd, I don't even know what day that is, but say you want to start at May 2nd, then you're going to go back 2 weeks. You give yourself 2 weeks. So that's, okay, I'm going to give 2 weeks in here to promote, and then that week before is going to be my Facebook challenge. Then I need 2 weeks to promote that. So I want you just to kind of work back. Or if that's confusing, work forwards. Just say, I'm going to host my challenge 2 weeks from now, right? Give myself, you're going to plan your challenge with me today, so you don't need to take a week to do that. Then you're going to promote the challenge for two weeks and then host the challenge. So look at 2 weeks from now. What would be that date? Let's just look. See how it fits into your calendar. Everyone's going to be a little bit different. So realistically, you could start your challenge on, I like to start them on a Monday. So you could start it on April 4th. That gives you 3 days to get all your promotional images and things done. The content is going to be done today. So it gives you that time to get everything together and start promoting on Monday or even sooner. And then gives you 2 weeks of promotion, so you could do your Facebook challenge on April 4th. And then if you do your Facebook challenge on April 4th for the week, then remember, I like to have at least 1 week, maybe 2, but at least 1 week. So you could either start on April 18th or April 25th for your program. Good question, Susan. So shall we count from after the first beta is done? So I would still do a challenge for your beta. So if you're doing a beta, You probably don't need to take as much time to promote and as much time before leading into it. But even still, with a beta, you know, sometimes when I've done a beta, I have just shared and it's filled up, right? Like I really haven't done a formal launch, but other times I have. So I have done a Facebook challenge to fill a beta as well, just because maybe I haven't been as engaged with my list or in Facebook groups or things like that. So the organic reach isn't as high, and I want to have a higher number in my beta program. So then I need to do a little bit more of a launch work. So you could do a Facebook challenge to fill your beta, and just do it like a week promotion, a week of the challenge, and lead it right into your program. So your beta could be starting in 2 weeks, but you're still gonna do a Facebook challenge before the beta. Does that make sense? And then definitely you can do this for 2 dates. So you can do like, here's what I'm gonna do before the beta, here's what I'm gonna do before my actual 10K launch. And if you feel like you can fill your beta without doing any of these formal launches, then great. Yeah, Susan, I think it's a great opportunity for you to test out a Facebook challenge to get the feel for it, so that when you do your actual live launch of the higher price program, you already have, you can use the same challenge. You can do the same challenge again for your live launch. So all the materials are done, the workbooks are done, the videos are done. You feel more confident. You know what the results are, so you can share social proof when you're promoting it. So it's a great tester as well for the launch. Yeah, for sure. So Indira says, I'm incorporating this with a 10K product class. I'm doing a beta launch first and then launch the course again with the challenge for the real launch, not beta. Is that a good idea? Yeah, you can totally do that. So just what I was saying, it depends how your audience is. If you feel like you can get enough people into your beta just through word of mouth and just through reaching out one-on-one, just through sharing with your list, then definitely just go for it. Or do a challenge, but do it in less time. Just promote it, share it for a week, do it for a week, and lead right into your program for the beta. And then, as we said, do it again for the actual formal launch. So for right now, let's look at the calendar. And I want you just to share some dates. So they don't have to be set in stone, and we'll give you some more time to fine tune them. But look at your calendar now and think, okay, when is my official launch gonna be? And when does my Facebook challenge need to be? That's gonna follow this template more so for the official launch. Yeah, Indira, if that's how you wanna go, that's great, for sure. She said she was going to promote the beta using Facebook ads for a live call. Yeah, for sure. So you can totally do it that way. And what I would suggest too is that if you're not getting the numbers in, that you consider just promoting like a day or two for a challenge and do it like a 3-day challenge even. So just being flexible even in the beta launch, if you're not getting the numbers that you really wanted, to be flexible and thinking, what else could I do? And again, a challenge is just such a fabulous way. And it doesn't have to be 5 days. It can be 3. It can be, you know, that kind of a shorter time frame if you find. But yes, the call will work great as well. Okay, I'm gonna keep moving on, but I do want to see your guys' dates. So I want you to think about, when am I gonna host my challenge? Okay, there we go. We've got Andy coming in. So you're gonna start your challenge on March 23rd for your beta launch on April 4th. Love it. So let me look at, so March 23rd, so you gotta get promoting, right? Let me just think. Okay, so you have 1 week to promote. That's perfect because this is a beta launch. So I want you to think, okay, I need to share this in groups. I need to reach out to communities. I need to share this with my list. I need to reach out to moms and daughters that I know need this. I need to start getting my Rolodex out and thinking who can help share this as well. Okay, perfect. Heidi, 5-day challenge is starting April 4th. That's great timing, gives you 2 weeks to promote it. Love it. Good. And Andy, is your beta launch, your beta program is going to start on April 4th, right? Well, that's weird. You have to keep refreshing the page. Huh. I don't know why. Oh, Andy! Yay! She has 34 signups already. Woohoo! That's so exciting. I love it. Okay. Oh, here's something I want you guys to think about. When you're aiming for goals, remember in the 10K we talked about setting a goal, working the numbers, getting that calculator out, working the numbers, then really hustling, and then letting go of the intention or of the outcome, right? So setting that intention and then letting go. So this is the same for launching. You need to set the intention. So for me, I know that typically I can convert 10% of the people who are really engaged in my Facebook challenge. Now, 10% is amazing conversion because industry standards, if you're doing, a beta launch, or a video launch, that kind of thing, even, some of those big wigs who are doing amazing content and all that, and, beautifully produced things, they typically get between 1% and 3%. 3% is really high. 1% is more industry standard for conversion into their program. Now, mind you, they probably have like 50,000 plus on their list, so they're still getting amazing conversions. They're getting a lot of signups, but that's because they have these massive lists. For us who are having smaller lists, for those of us who have smaller lists and need to have higher conversions to make that make sense, Facebook challenges are the way to go. So myself and some of my clients who have done Facebook challenges have seen around that 8 to 10% conversion of those who are really in your program. 24 is still awesome. That's still awesome. Challenge is going to be on April the 4th. Nice. Okay, perfect. Good. Okay, great. So if you guys are thinking, so if you want to have, here's the numbers, Andy. If you want to have, how many people do you want to have in your program, Andy? If you want to have, the delay is hard when I'm asking direct questions, but if you want to have, say, 10 people, you're going to want to have 100 people in your challenge. To see how that works. Now, this isn't always true because with a beta, you don't need as many because it's a lower price. You're going to show all the same benefits, but it's not as expensive, so people are going to jump in it a lot easier. Okay, great. So you want to have 10. So I would shoot for kind of that 100 mark, but be okay with obviously 50 or 60 or however many you get. But I would shoot for that 100 people in your challenge if possible. Okay, so yeah, 10 people, that's a great one for your beta launch. Love it, love it. And then remember that in the beta as well, you're going to be reaching out to those 100 people. You're going to be sharing why this would work for them, why, hopping on the phone with people. So the challenge is just kind of that start point. If the challenge week of 4th beta launch for program on, if challenge week is on the 4th, beta launch for the program on the 18th, yes, so you could totally do that. So you would do your 4th, and that would give you 1 week to promote it a little bit more, to reach out to the people in the challenge, to follow up with people you think would be interested, to get on the phone with people. So it does give you enough time, especially for a beta launch, to give that 1 week in between. For an actual launch where you want a lot more people or you're charging a much higher price, you want to give yourself that 2 weeks to really fill the program. Because remember, you're doing this program, you want to get as many people as feels good for you, but as possible, you want to reach that goal. So you want to give yourself that time and space to make sure those spaces are filled. So start your 5-day challenge on April 11th. Perfect, Allison, love it. Okay, great. Okay, we've got some really great things happening. I'm glad you guys are taking action. So I'm gonna come back to, we're gonna do some more teaching. So step number 3 is that your challenge needs to lead into your work. So a lot of people have asked me, how do you create the content for your challenges so that you're giving tons of value, but you're not taking away too much from the program? Because what if people get everything they need from your challenge and they don't need you in the program? Which actually, sometimes I do feel like I give so much value in my free stuff that is the case. Sometimes people feel like they've got enough to go on, and that's okay. That's okay. But I feel like in giving that much value, those people who see results just from your free challenge are still going to be raving fans. They may come back and work with you later. So there's a lot of great things that come from, even if they don't sign up for your program, that come from really delivering this kind of value. So some ways that you can think about what content should I teach in my challenge, or what things should I share. You need to think, what is the step before your program? So your program is XYZ. Well, we need to dive into A and B, right? So that they're prepared for the program. So think about your program. Is there something that would help people be really prepared to take action in your program as soon as it starts if they had this foundation? So if you could take something and teach it on a deeper level in your challenge, it would make them that much better clients and customers, because they would be better prepared for the work they're about to do with you in the program. So for example, with my Center Stage program, the first couple times I ran it, people got really stuck in the story part of it. And it still takes some people a lot longer, because they have to really dive into that story, and it brings up a lot of emotion, and there's a lot of things to work through to figure out. And so I found that 1 week was not enough for people to really get clear on their story. And then that was week 1. And so people were feeling behind and stressed and all that right from the get-go. And I was like, oh no. So what I did is I actually looked at, you know what? Having somebody really dive into their story before Center Stage even starts, even though that's the foundation of my work, if I could give them a starting place in my challenge where we could talk about story and they could start the process in my free stuff, then when they get into the actual program, they already have a beginning place. They already have done some of the work. And so then it doesn't feel as overwhelming, and they're able to jump right in and keep moving forward. So I teach story in my challenges, because I know that even though it's included in the program, we need more time, and we can go so much deeper if they have that foundation. So I hope that makes sense. I'm just going to come there. There's a question here from Tracy. I'm such a strange case because I'm really testing out the concept for the product with an online program. Since my whole product is around speed and getting your values and purpose on track in a day, how in the world do I do this? I'm going to do a beta, but my program will be so inexpensive because it will be short, 7 days. Should I just do a Facebook challenge and not charge for the beta so that I can test the online program and get social proof, and then charge for the actual online program later on? That's a great question, Tracy. So first thing, I want you to know that just because it's a short program doesn't mean it has to be inexpensive. So I just want to put that out there. I know that you want it to be like a really affordable program, which is great, but I also want to challenge the idea, just because I feel like I need to, just for anybody listening, not specific to you, Tracy, but the idea that a shorter program needs to be less. Because if you look at my 10K in a weekend or in a week, I charge $1,000 for that program. It's a short, intense time, but I know that people get results, and it is so powerful to do it in that short time frame. And so I know that it's worth that, just the same as if I did a 6-week program, I would charge the same price. But it's that way that people want to work that makes it so valuable. So that's the same for you. People want results now. They don't want to wait for 7 weeks. They want to get them now, and that's what you're giving them. So what I would do in your case is actually possibly more of like why values are important. Maybe more of like a webinar, right? That's going to actually lead them into the program at beta. So this is the one time where I feel like, because you're doing it already in like almost like you're doing it in a Facebook challenge way, your program. So you're right in thinking that, okay, if I do a Facebook challenge, am I going to have anything for the program? And I think that there is something we could do for the Facebook challenge as well that dives more into discovering the past, looking at their life and figuring out when were the times I was happiest. When are the times where I felt most aligned? So your Facebook challenge could actually be almost like a self-discovery, and maybe you do that in your product or program a little bit. But what it could actually be is, like I was just saying, it's the prep work for actually being prepared and ready to truly dive in and recognize those values and their purpose through the program. So again, I'm not sure if this is included in your product or program where they actually do some looking back on their life and maybe looking at milestones in their life and looking at when they felt the happiest, what was the moment that comes to mind when they felt the most joy, writing that down. So that could be a Facebook challenge in and of itself. And then the program is, now that you've looked over your life and you're getting these little glimpses and you're starting to articulate what your life, when your life was at its most important moments, just like in your story, Tracy, is that in your story, it was those moments of joy that came when you were connected with your family, when you were connected, right? So you can see throughout your story the moments where you were aligned in your business and in your work and what felt good, and the moments that didn't feel good. So you could take them through that process in a Facebook challenge. It could be just 3 days. It doesn't have to be 5 or 7. And then you lead them into the product or program for that low beta price, where now you have these little insights. You're ready to really dive into, what are my core values? What is my purpose? Yes? Yay, she says brilliant. Okay, awesome. That really helps. Okay, great. So think about that. So that was a great example of what is the step before your program, right? What is the thing that you could do that doesn't necessarily come in your program, but is something that would help them to take even greater advantage in your product and program, and that leads them to it. So that's actually a perfect example. Thank you, Tracy, for asking that. Another thing to help you with a challenge is to use a piece of your program. So in every challenge, I have taken one small piece of content or several right from my program that I'm launching. So I don't believe this is a negative. I actually see this as a huge positive, because you can tell them that this is just a piece of what I teach in Center Stage. This is just a piece. This is just a glimpse of what you get in 10K. And so they're like, wow, this is amazing content. And this, I'm getting results already for free. Imagine what the product's gonna do for me, okay? So for example, I will take like a piece of getting booked and use it as a challenge. And maybe I haven't done it yet, but I might do getting booked strictly as a challenge, as a 5-day challenge. And all we do is focus on some of the elements of getting booked. But then it leads into Center Stage. And you guys know, being in Center Stage, that my PDF for getting booked is 50 pages long. So even if I take some of those concepts and I teach them the same that's what it is already in the course, when they get to that, they're going to be like, whew, instead of, what, she already taught this in the free stuff. I have never once had anyone say, oh, but you already taught this in your free challenge. Never, never once has anybody complained about that or anything, because we go deeper. You have my one-on-one support. You have the group. You have all these amazing extras that support that learning even deeper, and you just got a taste test of it in the challenge, okay? You can also teach an in-depth concept in a simple way. So this, again, is like the getting booked. I used it for the above example, but it applies here too. So I take 5 concepts of like the best 5 for getting you started to get booked, and I teach those in a really simple way, and then obviously we go way deeper in the program. So same idea for you. What is something you could teach in a simple way that still is going to get results, but then you go way deeper in the Facebook challenge? I mean, in the program. Sorry. And then the last thing is a complimentary training that supports the program training in a deeper way. So for example, this training right here is actually something I've considered doing as a Facebook challenge, teaching people how to do Facebook challenges, and then leading it into my 10K product, because guess what? In my 10K product, one of the best launch strategies that I teach and that I personally use is Facebook challenges. So it's a very separate training, but it still totally applies to leading them into it. Does that make sense? So for 10K products in a week, once they have their Facebook challenge, they're like, okay, I need to lead this into a product or program. So what's my product or program, right? Oh, it's 10K. You can do this work in 10K. So that's where I would use Facebook, or you could do like Facebook ads, how to be visible and ask, right? So I could teach on any of these things that would help them launch their product or program, but is a kind of a separate training. So I hope that makes sense. So I want you to think, okay, so Heidi says, so I get stuck because I want to do a challenge with tweens and teens, but it's promoting to parents, but also work with parents to navigate the minefields of a teen. Is it better to do a challenge for parents first? Yeah, Heidi, I think we covered this in one of our calls recently, where I said to make sure that you do the challenge for the parents, because then they're going to be the ones buying the program for their teens, right? But then when you do your speaking opportunities and you're speaking to teens, you could invite them to come and join you for a Facebook challenge. So when you're in a school speaking to the teens and tweens and they love you and they've gotten to know you, then you can say, I'm going to be doing a Facebook challenge that is just for you. So then you can have kids from all these different schools joining in this Facebook challenge, and it could be just a really great way to give back and to deepen that work that you're doing and really feel like you're giving back to your community. But as far as the teens and tweens buying something, that's not going to happen. So focusing on the parents and then doing a challenge for them on how to connect with their teens, and then here's what my program is to help your teen even further with that, right? Hope that makes sense. Setting healthy boundaries with a highly sensitive child. It's a piece of your program. I love it. I love it. So yes, I want to hear from you guys. What is going to be that focus for you in your challenge? What are you going to focus on teaching in your challenge? Would love to hear what your ideas are. And Andy, that's perfect. It's such a pain point of like setting healthy boundaries, right? Like people are like, yes, please answer that for me. Help me with that. And so then that's just a piece of the program, and you can even say that. Look at the results you got in 5 days together. Imagine what we could do in 6 weeks together, or however long your program is. Good, Heidi. I'm glad that makes sense. There is going to be, I mean, teens will buy like shirts and CDs and books. And so maybe you look at, when you have your speaking gigs, maybe you look at having a line of products that help teens, that have like good messages that are really fun and funky. But they would pull out a $20 bill and buy something, or even a book. So that's another great idea, Heidi, is to think, instead of a program for teens, what about a book for teens, right? That they would buy, and that they would come up and they'd put their $10 down or their $20 down and purchase from you at your speaking gigs or online, right? So you still could have like a teen portal and a parent portal, but the parent portal is where you're going to focus your attention on the higher programs and products that, you know, they're not going to be super expensive, but they're out of the range of what a teen would buy or have. But you could totally have a line of products, your own book, those kinds of things that the teen would buy. Okay, perfect. Okay, I'm going to keep going on. Step number 4 is creating the content. Actually, I don't want to go on. I want you guys to think. What I want to hear from you guys before we move on. What is the focus of your Facebook challenge? Empower your kids. Understand empowerment and self-esteem for your kids. Understand the role self-love and self-worth plays in empowerment in teens and tweens. Learn the consequences of when kids give up their power to fit in. Challenge the belief, if I change, then I will be happy. Love it. Now, what I would actually think about with the title of your challenge is, what is the thing that they are Googling? What is the thing that they are in the middle of the night getting their laptop out saying, help me with this? What is the answer for this? That should be the title of your challenge. It doesn't have to be, but I'm just thinking for you, Heidi, empower your kids. Yeah, sure, we want to empower our kids, but I don't know if it's a strong enough pain point for parents to go, let me know. So for example, Andy's setting healthy boundaries with the highly sensitive child. I need to know how to have healthy boundaries or I'm going to strangle my kid. Hopefully not. But do you know what I mean? So in the middle of the night, they're saying, how do I set healthy boundaries with my kid when they're driving me crazy? Okay. So I want you to think, what if it's something like 5 days, something about like your child having the confidence to say no to what they don't want and yes to what they do want. And then guess what? So not giving into peer pressure comes from self-love. It comes from self-esteem. It comes from self-worth, right? You're talking about the consequences of when kids give up their power to fit in. So, or it could be something like making sure or helping your child to stand up for themselves rather than just fit in, or something like that, right? Something like that where it's like, what is that immediate problem that they want to have solved? And then you give them those empowerment tools and self-esteem tools and those things that you just listed. But I think you need to think more in terms of what is that immediate problem I need to solve for them that they're gonna hit on. When that Facebook ad pops up, they're gonna be like, oh my goodness, I need to help my kid stand on her own 2 feet instead of getting pulled into peer pressure, right? Okay, hopefully that helps. How are you guys doing? You guys are quiet. I want to hear, what are you guys creating over there? I want you all, even if you don't know. So Dottie, Heidi's got one. Allison, I want to hear what your challenge is going to be called. Tracy, what's your challenge going to focus on? It doesn't have to be that you know exactly what it's called, but I just want to know what's the focus of it. Susan, what's your focus? Profit from your passions. Show them how to fulfill their purpose and make money for women who really care about helping others but not trying to be Mother Teresa. They feel like the work they do is what they were called to do. Okay, great. So what about, I do like profit from your passions. I do like that. And so then maybe it is in the tagline, it's something more clear. So 5 days that will get you clear on how to make money, not just have a hobby, right? So something that's really direct, and you want to be really focused, because profit from your passions feels very broad, right? Do you know what I mean? And that's the same with Heidi's. It feels very like out there. With a challenge, you want to be tangible. You want to be like, this is what you're going to get from our time in these 5 days together. You're going to know exactly how to stop how to turn your hobby business into a profit business. Well, that's a good one. Turn your hobby business into a profit business with these 5 days strategies or something. Yeah. The charm recipe. Oh, Chuck the checklist. So, okay, so I like that. So I was thinking a to-do list. So Chuck the checklist. So I think, what about something like find your dream man in 5 days flat. And one of them could be chuck the checklist. One could be the charm recipe, because those are cute terms. I'm not sure what stop the stuck means. I'm not sure what that means, but remember, we want to get them in with like what they're looking for. I want to find my dream man in 5 days flat. Yeah. And then the ways that you do it are you dive into who you are. Okay, it is a big promise, Susan. I hear you on that. But then you can have the tagline. Now, this is setting the foundation for your dream man to find you, right? So it then, or something like that. So it's like, or how to be, something about, find your dream man in 5 days flat. It doesn't have to be that they're gonna attract him or that he's gonna find them. What it means is find your dream man in 5 days flat means that I'm gonna prepare myself. I'm gonna look at myself. I'm gonna see who I am as a woman that is going to attract that man. I'm going to check the checklist, but I'm going to know the main qualities that really, really matter to me, the same values or whatever. I mean, I don't really know what you're going to teach, but the charm recipe, how you actually can create that moment when you do meet the right man, or when you are in that, right? Or how to know when it's the right man. So I think that, yes, that sounds like a big promise, but how to attract your dream man, you're just saying that you're going to attract the right person, and you're going to learn how to do that in 5 days flat. You're not saying that they're actually going to get a man in 5 days flat. Does that make sense? Okay. Turn your hobby biz into a profit biz. Yeah, Dottie, see how much clearer that is? Right? So it's much clearer, and then you give them that more like it is about giving back but not losing yourself. It is about being able to charge for the services you're giving, or whatever. Makes sense? Linda, yay, Linda's here. What's your challenge going to be? Allison, what's your challenge going to be? I want to hear. Oh, good. Linda just got on chat roll. How to stop struggling and cultivate your finest desires, body and bank account, and feel delicious doing it. Okay, good. So that is good. It's too long for like a title, but that's your gist of it. So what if it was something about get delicious? Or like, you know, like, so you could say something. That's another thing that can be a title. It's just something fun and catchy. So be delicious, or get delicious, or live deliciously, or delicious living, you know, something like that. And then have the tagline, how to stop struggling and cultivate your finest desires, body, and bank account. But it still should be a little bit shorter, maybe. So maybe it would be go from struggling to feeling delicious in all areas of your life, or go from struggling to feel delicious in body and your bank account, or, you know, something like that. Yes. Does that make sense, Linda? So you want to have a short, catchy title that people are going to go, oh, delicious living. What does that mean? But that's the only thing too. Is that clear enough? So we could say cultivate your delicious life, and then create your finest desires, body and bank account. I don't know if the body and bank account feels so right. Go back to your North Star and see what your North Star is, because I think we worded it really nicely. Oh, Bea, good to have you here. No worries, no worries. There'll be a recording. We're just diving in. Okay, perfect. So I hope that helps you guys. I'm going to keep moving on, but would like to hear. Okay, so when you're creating the content, you want to keep it relevant. Make sure it relates to what you're going to be selling and what you're going to be offering as a service. So If you're going to be selling a center stage, for example, then I probably wouldn't do a Facebook challenge on, I'm trying to think of something super unrelated, on online branding. I mean, I could probably still spin that to somehow tie in, but do you know what I mean? You don't want to have them like two totally different things. You want to have it relate. You want to keep your content simple, and this is something I do always struggle with because I tend to give way too much, and I remind myself each time, okay, I need to keep it more simple, but then I tend to add more stuff anyways. But if you keep it simple, I know, and I just need the reminders often that less is often more. And if you can keep it really simple and actionable, people are going to take action. People are going to get results, right? So you want to keep it simple so that they don't get overwhelmed in that short time and they do take action, okay? Keep it actionable. Get them taking action. So yes, give some content, give some teaching, but then give them that challenge. That's why it's called a Facebook challenge. It's all about action. And I think far too often people get too much into their headspace and diving into too much content that they don't take enough action. So challenges are great for keeping it simple on the content side and really actionable. Keep it interactive. So definitely, you know, have that interaction. I love Facebook challenges for the interaction. It deepens the connection. It helps people really feel a part of it. They really feel like they belong. So interaction is really important when you're doing your Facebook challenges. And this was one of my this was my very first challenge I ever did. You can see it on the slide. I love this image. So looking for magic, it's on the other side of fear. And this was my promotional image for my week-long Courage-a-thon is what I called it. And it's time to karate chop your fears into oblivion. No more excuses, no more holding yourself back. Make massive progress in your business in 2014. It's free. Get real, get messy, get results. So my whole focus on the Courage-a-thon was action. It was results. So do keep it focused on results. Know that you want to get them results every day. You want them taking action and getting some kind of result. So after the 5 days or 7 days, they're like, holy cow, look at how far I've come with just 7 days. I want to sign up for this program. And keep it fun. So keep it fun, have fun, bring your personality. We're going to talk about that in just a little bit as well, a little bit more. People want to work with those that they like being around. So have fun with it and add your personality. Okay, so this is something that we kind of have done already, but let's outline, well, actually, no, we haven't. I was thinking it was the time frame first up, but it's actually just let's outline your content now. So this is the time. Are you guys still with me? I need a heck yeah. Are you guys all still with me? You've got your pen and paper. You're ready to rock and roll. I hope you guys are getting some great insights on this. Yeah, something like toast-worthy living, cultivate your finest life. So delicious living. I do love the word delicious. I do love it too. Okay, good. You guys are still with me. I'm glad. Yay! This is like, I like this format, but then sometimes I'm like, are you guys there? Are you there? I feel like just need to check in and make sure. Okay, great, great, great. So Linda, I would say something more like 5 days to a toast-worthy life and how to make your life more delicious. Your life, your body, and your bank account, totally delicious. Or something like that, right? So 5 days to a toast-worthy life. It just ties into your North Star. It ties into your message. It's short, it's simple, it's powerful. So keeping it focused on that. And then that tagline, I really like the delicious. And you can have learn to be delicious or live something about delicious desires, body, and bank account, right? Something like that. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Okay, so back to the slide, or maybe I'm the only one that's gotten off of it. I want you guys to write these questions down or just write the answers down. How long is your challenge going to be? I want you to share with me in the group, in the chat, and write it down on your page. Is it going to be 3 days? Is it going to be 5 days? Is it going to be 7 days? Those are the recommended days, 5 to 7, but you could do shorter and you can do longer. I feel like this is the best time frame. So tell me, I want to see some answers. Tracy, it is being taped. Yes, it is, and there will be a replay, so no worries. Drive safe. All right, so tell me 5, 7, 3, 4, how long is your challenge going to be? Put it in the, okay, 5 days, good. 5, awesome. 5, all right, good. Yes, 5 is a great number. It's just the days of the week. It's nice and easy. Perfect. Okay, now I want to know what program or offering is it going to lead into? This is what you do every single time you create a Facebook challenge. So now that we're doing this together once, you're going to be able to do it over and over again for every time you launch something new, okay? So this is a great opportunity for you guys to walk through the process and then do this process every single time you go to launch something. Okay, great. Everybody's a 5-dayer. That's awesome. So now I want to switch it. What program or offering are you going to lead into? Type that in the chat box. What is your program or offering? And if it is just simply to list build, that's okay too. You can write that down. But I think most of you are doing this to lead into your first beta program or offering. Woo, 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 from our 10K work. So I just want you guys to write down what program or offering it's going to lead into. And I want you writing this down in your notes as well. This darn delay, I tell ya. The Motherhood Compass. Yes, good. Okay, Andy, perfect. So that's your chat, or that's your program. Awesome, awesome. Okay, now I want you guys to write down, if you haven't already, the title of your challenge. You don't have to share it in the Facebook chat, or I mean in the chat box. Honor the power of your deliciousness. Ooh, Linda, I like that. Be delicious. I think you can even do be delicious. I like be delicious too. What if your challenge was be delicious? And then you'd focus on like, what are your desires? What makes you feel delicious, right? And then it leads into the honor the power of your deliciousness. The True Love Finder 6-week program. Love it. The True Love Finder. I like it. I like it. It's very clear. It's simple. It's good. I like it. Manifest your message. Ooh, that's good. Manifest your message. I like that one. It's really good. The Red Am I back? Am I back? I'm just gonna check and make sure I'm back. Can you guys hear me and see me? Okay, good. I'm back again. Or maybe I didn't, maybe you guys didn't even miss me. I don't know. I got kicked off, so there we go. Okay. Okay. So, yes. Title is to be determined. Discover how to be you while trying to fit in. Yeah. That's good. That's good. Or do we want them to fit in? I guess that's what they want. So yeah, that's good. Okay. And your title, again, you want to think about, is this program for parents for their teens? Then it's going to be a slightly different angle for the title and tagline. Okay, I'm back. Yay! Okay, great. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back to my slides. Okay, let me just get this rolling. Where is it? I can't find my PowerPoint. Oh, there it is. It just looks like a Word document, so because it doesn't have all the pictures and stuff. Okay, perfect. So hopefully you can see this again. We're working through the title of your challenge. What is the main focus? What do you want the main takeaway to be? Brittany, you are chatting. I can see you chatting right now. I can read yours as well. So, Bea, I still feel like that it maybe isn't clear enough. So I think you should go from something like from black and white to Technicolor. So change your story, change your life from black and white to Technicolor. Something like that. Because I do love the red shoes, but I feel like the red shoes is more it's your prop, it's your thing. But if you just say the red shoes, people are not going to know what the program is or if it's for them. Does that make sense? So when you're promoting it, I think you really need to look at Technicolor living, how to go from black and white to Technicolor in your life. So maybe you even call it Technicolor living, how to go from black and white to Technicolor in your life. Something like that. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Okay. So now we're going to move on to what your daily topics could be. And this is going to be really fun. So again, I need you guys to think about what could be my daily topics. What am I going to teach each day for 5 days? Because most of you are doing 5 days. So I want you to write down on your piece of paper, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. I want you to think about the main focus of my challenge is, what is it? What is the main point of this challenge? And then think, what am I going to teach on day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5? What are the simple things? Remember, it needs to be simple. It needs to be clear. It needs to be really, really, really one action, one teaching. So you're breaking a concept down into 5 tiny steps, right? So or you're doing 5 different kind of teaching things. But I want you to think about, what could I teach on these days? So for example, I'm actually gonna stop screen sharing because I like to see you guys. Well, I can't see you, but you can see me. So for example, when I did the Courage-a-thon, I did every day I did a truth and a dare. So I had, for example, my truth was, I can't actually remember what they were because this was 2 years ago, but my truth was, every yes leads to a no. Okay, that's my truth. So it was like a mantra. So every day I posted a truth and I posted a dare, and I got them to take action. So then my dare was to go and ask. So I dare you to go and ask. for what you wanted. And then I wrote a little bit more about it, but I had an image that was the truth, that was every no leads to a yes. And the dare was to go and ask. And it could be something in business, it could be something in life. But basically, I gave them the opportunity that I said, you need to ask for what you want. And if you're not willing to ask, you're not going to get it. And so I gave them this video on the power of asking. I had guest speakers each day share how they implement that dare in their life. And I shared how important it was, why it's important to ask, how to get over the fear of asking. And then the challenge was they just had to go and ask. And whether it was ask for a spot on a stage, ask for a guest post on a blog, ask a client to sign up for something, ask someone into their program, ask for a house cleaner, ask your husband to do more chores around the house because you're busy building your business, ask for a nanny, ask for a bookkeeper. So it was really about, okay, what can I ask for and try so that I can get what I need in my life. So that was day one. Day two was, I actually can't remember, but day two was the same idea. It was something simple, a simple truth, a simple dare. And that worked really, really well. In some of my other challenges, they've been more obviously around speaking. And so then when I do those challenges, like the last one I did, it was a lot more in depth. But day one was about delivering a great speech. So I gave you the 6 steps to delivering a great speech, and then had you guys take action on a couple of those things. How are you going to add more storytelling? Share your story. How are you going to add more emotion? And so in that sense, I did do more. I did have like 3 challenges each day, which does tend to get a little bit much for you hosting it, because then you have to respond to all those. So, you know, looking back at it, sometimes those shorter challenges that just have that one action step is easier on those who are participating and easier on you to facilitate it. But yeah, so that's kind of the 2 different main challenges I've done. I've done some other ones as well. Yay, Bea! I love Technicolor Living too. It's very, very, very cool. And then one of your main points is about getting your red shoes on. And I think you just have a beautiful story that highlights that exact point, where you felt like kicking your red shoes off for a little bit and then you put them back on. And then going from black and white is all about like spicing up your life and adding more pizzazz into it and doing things your way. And then changing your story is rewriting that script. So those are like your 3 points, but Technicolor Living could be more of that overarching theme that people get and understand when they read it. Because the red shoes, people might think you're a shoe salesperson or a stylist, or they might not really understand what it's about. But Technicolor Living is really fun. Okay. Start with who you are first on the affluence wheel. Purpose, love, or charity for life to get easy. Nothing wrong with you, and everything works when you do it your way. I love it. Okay, so maybe, Allison, maybe day 1 focuses on purpose on the affluence wheel. Day 2 is love. Day 3 is charity. And then maybe you give them a couple other steps, or maybe it is, you know, then they just put it together. What are their first priority? What is their second? What is their third? So maybe you're guiding them through that process. I don't know if that takes too much away from your work or not, but that's really cool. I like that. Each day they will work on a color: blue, yellow, red, green, and orange. Each color will have its own black and white, wicked witch of the west, nasty voice, old pattern. It's color fairy. It will link up with my huge giveaway, the Emma Trance technique, which will be taught throughout the 5 days. Ooh, that sounds so fun, Bea. I love how you're adding in already, because that's the next step for the challenge is how do you add in your pizzazz? How do you add in your personality? How do you add in more fun? How do you make it more you? And you're already doing that with the colors, with the fairy tales, with the Wicked Witch of the West. So I love it. Yay! Okay, great. Okay, I'm gonna go back to sharing my screen. So I want to ask you guys, even if you're not sharing in here, are you getting it done? Are you taking action? And you can come back to this after we're done our call as well. I want you to start to take action though. I want you to start, even if you just have day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5 written down with some ideas, I want you there. Are you guys there? That's right. We'll have to take your challenge. I'm up for it, girl. Okay, so now I want you guys to think about how are you going to teach or deliver the content. So some people will only do written content. So they'll say, here's day 1. They'll write a little blurb about why it's important, and then they'll write the challenge. And it's simple, and maybe they'll have a graphic each day, but it's really, really simple. It's not, okay, good. Andy says she's working hard behind the scenes. Okay, great, because I'm not seeing all of the work, so that's why I have to keep checking in to make sure you guys are taking action. Okay, good, good. Heck yeah, hashtag action. Good, good, that's what I like to hear. Okay, so I want you to think, for example, those of you who did my recent challenge, I did 2 different challenges. One was a video that I had recorded, I had done previously, and I just posted in the group along with a PDF. So it was about a, you know, I think they were mostly 10 to 15 minutes video training with a workbook that was probably 3 to 5 pages. But you can have it just a 1 page, and you can do it for just a 5-minute video. You don't have to do as long as I did. So good, good. Yes, you're gonna have a little bit of time after this call to get everything sorted, but I just wanna make sure you're making notes and you're taking action. Good. So for the content, you can just write it out. You can have a short video that you post in the group each day. You can add in a PDF with each one, but you don't have to. For your beta launches, you're probably going to want to keep it as simple as possible. So a writable PDF is not a must, and it's definitely above and beyond what most people do. Most people just write out the questions and you fill in the threads in the Facebook group. Also, as you saw, one of my challenges was a webinar each day for 7 days. So I did a full webinar, but I didn't have any PDFs with it. It was very action-oriented, lots of great content, but it was a webinar each day. So that was the first time I've ever done it that style before, and it was a lot of, there wasn't as much engagement in the Facebook group for that one, because I think when I have the video in the Facebook group and the PDF and I write out, you know, the simple take action steps, there's more engagement. Whereas the webinar each day, it was a ton of content and a lot of people were doing stuff behind the scenes, but they weren't really sharing in the group, right? So that's where, yeah. Perfect. 10-minute daily video together with a daily diary with dares. Love it. You'll have to go and find something significant of the right color and post a photo of it in the Facebook group. Love photos. You can have different hashtags. You can add in that they post on Instagram too if you want to add in another media. But definitely getting them to post photos, getting them to post videos, getting them to take pictures of their homework or whatever action you're asking them to do is a great thing to do. So Heidi says, a video with action steps each day, perfect. With a webinar on the last day or the 6th day. Yeah, I love doing that. I actually do that quite often where I have 4 videos, and then the 5th day is a live call or webinar. And that works really well because that's when I open up the doors to the program usually. So Allison says, day 1 is Affluence Wheel. Who are you? First quiz. Day 2, best money strategy for each. Day 3, best relationship strategy for each. Best health strategy for each. Oh, Allison, sign me up. I so need this. And we need to do that session because I find that right now, in going to the next level in my business, I am super struggling with just kind of the next steps. And I know that I'm not super motivated by money, and yet yeah, I'm having a really hard time finding my motivation for growing even bigger. And maybe I don't need to grow bigger, but I kind of feel like I want to. So your affluence wheel will be awesome. Okay, love it, love it. Just had to put that in there. Maybe a video, no webinar, definitely the easier way to get out there. Yeah, so a video, you can record it in Zoom and then just upload it to the Facebook group. Super easy, low tech, it doesn't take a lot of time. So I would use Zoom if you're gonna do videos and they're good quality. Yes, so you can do a mix, Susan. That's just what I do, is I do the 4 videos and then I do a webinar at the end typically. Yes, Allison, I do believe that. And yet the money piece is the piece that you can tangibly set goals for, because I'm a very goal-oriented person. So that's where it's like, oh, but maybe not. You can help me. Okay. Okay, good, good. Yes, I'm so excited. I'm so excited, and I'll definitely be signing up. Okay, so yes. Webinar, brilliant idea. Pinching. Bea, you just got a great, brilliant webinar idea. You need to share. Love it, love it. Through email and then a daily task, with a daily task, and then report in the Facebook group. Great. So Andy, one thing that I want to make sure you guys know is in order to get people into the Facebook group, you do need to kind of bribe them. So I will give them opportunities to come in, and you know how I'll give like one of my favorite things away each day. For those people who post in the Facebook group, you get to win one of my favorite things, or you get to win XYZ. You can share what it is. And also you'll get feedback from me. So you just want to promote that in the Facebook group is where all the action is happening, because you don't want them to stay just hidden on email, because that's where you need the connection to come in for them to really dive into your work. Yes, Allison, I do believe that, and that's why I'm so drawn to your work as well. Okay, good. Let's just look at the next one. When are you going to post each day? So for me, typically, obviously, you're going to post first thing in the morning. I will, if I have a lot of different time zones, a lot of people come from Eastern time, so they're 3 hours ahead of me. So my 8 o'clock is like their midday. So I do schedule it using Hootsuite or that kind of thing as much as possible. So I do have, for my videos, I do have them on lead pages so that I just can post the link. So I don't have to actually upload the video at 5 o'clock in the morning. So that's something to just take into consideration. You want to typically post at the same time every day. Yes, 5 days of vulnerability would be really cool. That would be awesome, Allison. So I just want you to think about it. It's not like a big thing, but it's just something to think about. When are you going to post each day? And for me too, I post the video and PDF in the morning. Then by 9 o'clock, the last time I had the first question, 12 o'clock I had the second challenge or question, 3 o'clock I had the third, or something like that. I can't remember exactly the times, but because I had I don't know what's going on. I have my Wi-Fi off and I'm connected right to my cable, and I just lost you guys again. So sorry about that. Okay. I guess they're saying you've been on here long enough. No, just joking. Okay, so I am back. Let me know. Okay, so Bea says, is there a way to pre-program the videos to go out the right time for different time zones? That's a really good question. I don't believe there is. You would just want to take the best time zone you think for all. That's a really good question, though. I don't actually know. I'm back. Yay. Okay, Heidi asked, did you send out an email with content as well? Yes. So when someone signs up, they get the emails each day, but every email I send says, over in the Facebook group, here's the results that people are sharing. You're going to get coaching from me. You can, if you come and post, you're going to get a chance to win the gift. So in every email they get the link to the Facebook group. Again, they get the reminder that all the action is really happening in the Facebook group and to come join us. So yes, there are people that just like to get the content and they like to get the emails. And I don't think everybody that signs up for my programs comes over into the Facebook group because they just don't like to work that way. And that's fine. So I do give those two options where they get the email, they get the content, but then I do encourage them to come to the Facebook group. So Jennifer says, vulnerability or 5 days of self-care. Yeah, so either would be great, for sure. Yeah, you could totally just post in the Facebook group as well. So you would want to send out an email and just say, to get today's challenge, head on over to the Facebook group, right? And not do email. I kind of like the idea of doing email because there's going to be people who miss that first day. And then if you don't have the email, they might have come in on the day 2, but then they forget about it. And if they didn't get into the Facebook group right away, then you're losing them. Whereas some might hop in on day 2 or day 3 and be those people that you would love to. And also you want to keep that email connection going. Now, maybe you're thinking because you don't have an email list set up yet. If you don't have an email list set up yet and it's really not something you can do right away this first challenge, then I would think, you know, yes, it's fine, but you really want to have their emails eventually. And it's much easier. Lori learned this the hard way, where she did her first challenge without collecting emails. She just put them right into the Facebook group. And then it's really hard for people to give you your email after that. And yet they love her, but now it's hard for her to promote to them through email or to just have them be nurtured through email. So definitely you want to, as much as you can, get them to the email, but absolutely grow that Facebook community and group as well. So what gifts do I give? What are you giving away? Yes, so some of the things that I do are of my favorite book. I've given a gift card to Daniel Laporte. Usually I try to make it somehow apply, but not always. I like to give away my bracelet that's Get Your Brave On, or It's Your Time to Shine. I've given away like little posters, It's Your Time to Shine, frames, picture frames. I've given away journals. I've given away, again, gift cards, because that's easy if it's people all over the world. I've given away sessions with me, so a free story session or a free one-on-one call or that kind of thing too. So it can be services, things that you do, or even other things that you could do is give away someone who's a complimentary service to you. You could give away one of their programs. So they could be, it could be somebody that's, you know, a health coach, and she's going to give away a free book, one of her free books, or one of her free programs. So you can get people to actually give their stuff as a bonus, and it's like they're getting free promotion and highlighting their work, but it's a gift that you don't have to buy, and it adds a lot of value to the group as well. So you could do other people's programs, you can do your programs or services, you can do something cool like a free extra training or something. Or you could do like tangible gifts that they would just love. So yeah, those are some of the things I would give away. Can the ebook that goes with the program be a giveaway? If it's part of the program and you're going to give it away for free to one person, sure. You could give away to one person as long as it's still something that then they would want to buy the program, even if they have the ebook, right? So you don't want to give away something that's too much, like your program, so then they don't want to buy, because a lot of times when you give something away to someone, they're like, woo, and they have that even deeper connection, and then when you open up your program, they're like, yes, sign me up. So yeah, I would say if you're giving like one away, great, and as long as it still is like a compliment to your program and not the whole program, then yeah. And that said too, I have done scholarships. So actually for the first 3 or 4 launches, I always gave a scholarship. So I would give a scholarship away in my Facebook challenge. They would have to show up each day and participate, and then they would have to fill out an application, which was just answering a few questions of why they really wanted to take center stage, why they thought speaking was the most important thing for their business, why they wanted to work with me, and basically answering those questions solidifies in their mind that they want to take the course whether they're chosen or not. And I would usually get, 25, 30 applications, and then I would just draw out of a hat and one person would win. And that, though, is a great way for people to look at your program, to assess if it really is something they want, and then to write out, this is why I want to take this program, is a great way for them to really be like, yeah, I need this, in their own mind. So when you open the doors, it's a no-brainer. So you're giving back, but you're also providing an opportunity for people to really look in depth at your program and see why it would be great for them. So it's a great thing to do. Yeah, you could give away the Wizard of Oz books or DVDs. Yes, for sure. Yeah, a gift for Toys R Us. Yeah, so you just want to think like, what would be something that your audience would love, that your message ties into, that would be just super fun and something that people would want. Yes, love it. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to my slides. How's everybody doing? You guys are doing pretty awesome. I'm gonna go back to my slides, and we're getting pretty close to the end here. This one is adding in the you factor. So this is where I want you to think about how to add in more personality into your challenge. So when I started doing challenges, I had only seen 2 other people do challenges before me. And I started doing challenges, and then I started really sharing the results of these challenges, and these other people saw the results too, I'm sure. But now it's gotten to be such a popular way of marketing, and the challenges are happening all over the place, which means you need to do it even more special, right? Like you need to add more personality, you need to add more fun, you need to add more you to really stand out in the sea of challenges now, okay? So think about adding in you factor. What are your favorite things? So what are bring in some elements of what you love into your work. So as you guys know, I love music, I love dancing, and so I bring in dance breaks, and did that in one of my challenges, and it was super fun. You could do a lot of different things. We've talked about before, like doing a creative thing, like a craft, or bringing in, if you're into oracle cards, or so you do a reading each day, or you do a book reading. If you love books, you could read a section out of a book each day. So what are some of your favorite things? I want you to think about some, and then see ways that you can bring that into your challenge. And that's where I also say my giveaway are a few of my favorite things. So kind of like Oprah style, I'm giving away some of my favorite things. So that's why some of the gifts are just things that I love. How do you most love to work with your clients? So I'm all about connection and support, and love the group setting. So challenges are perfect for me. And I mentioned about how when I did just a video training series, I felt really disconnected. And also the results were not that great. for me. So you need to think about, you know, is a Facebook challenge really the one for you? And I do believe everyone can do a Facebook challenge, but you may find, like some people, I know Kimra Luna, she's very high touch, so whatever. But the challenge that she did recently for her launch was just via email. And then she would give a challenge and she would say, share it in our Freedom Hackers group, but she was not answering everybody's thing. It was each other supporting each other and just sharing. So it wasn't like she was totally invested in answering everybody's questions in the Facebook group. But every day you received a new challenge by Facebook, and it was just written out. It was just an email with a simple challenge, 1, 2, 3 steps. So nothing fancy tech-wise. So, you know, you can do it that way. I know Jen Scalia too. She posts, she gets people to share. She's not, she is, you know, answering some things and supporting and stuff, but she's not super, super hands-on. But it works, and it's a great way to list build and get people in your community. So you just need to think, how do I like to work? How do I want to be showing up? You may not be crazy like me and want to be in the Facebook group for 8 hours a day, answering every single post and inviting every single person. A lot of people look at that and think I'm crazy, and it's not for everyone. So you want to do a challenge in your way, is what I'm trying to say. What is your personality and how can you infuse that into your challenge? So I'm fun, I'm outgoing, I love to see the good in things and help other people to see that as well. So I like to bring the fun, I like to bring the energy, I like them to see what good things they're doing and creating in the world, and really help them to believe in themselves. So when you have an intention of how can I bring that, it's like, well, I really want them to be seen. I really want them to be heard. I want them to know that I care about them. And I know Bea had mentioned that after the challenge. She's like, how the heck did you keep us all straight? It's really that I go in with the intention of being super present and really caring about each person that is there sharing. And I do read every single post. And I do take the time to get to know everyone. And again, that's not for everyone, but that's my personality, and that's how I work in my business. And so that's how I want to show up in my challenge. So I just want you to think about these things. What are some fun things you could add? What's some, you know, fun favorite things that you could add in? So favorite thing is magic. So Bea could have candle magic, gentle magic, tree magic, that sort of thing. Love it, love it, love it. Want to use romantic comedy references. I think that would be great. Yeah, I think that would be super fun, Susan. Even doing a quiz, you know what would be super fun for you, Susan, is to do a quiz of, you know how you see those, like, who are you most like what Star Wars character are you most like, or whatever. It would be kind of fun to actually do it properly, is to look at like a real actual quiz where it's like, here's this romantic comedy character, like You've Got Mail, right? So Meg Ryan, that was Meg Ryan, right? You've Got Mail. Or who would be another character, like a recent romantic comedy, like the funny one that was just out. Oh, anyways, you know, if you take like a few and actually dissect that character, so they're going to be different personality traits and character traits and ways that they interact and ways that they see themselves and how they, you know, their personality. And you could actually have like 6 or 7 or 8 characters or 5 or whatever. And then you could develop a quiz where people then are like that person, but not just in the silly fun way. Like some quizzes are just like, oh, you're like Princess Diana, but actually then show, here's some of their personality traits. Here's some of their love interests. Here's some of the ways they interact. Here's what makes them super approachable. Here's some of their strengths. Here's some of their weaknesses. So like you could totally go into that personality type, and then people would be able to walk away with this like really cool, like I love quizzes. So if you did that, it would be so fun. Yeah, perfect. Yay. Okay, great. So super fun, super fun. So I want to hear from you guys. What are some fun things you're going to add in there? I've heard from Susan. I've heard from Bea. Anyone else who's listening on the call, what are some of the fun things you're going to add in to make this challenge unique and more you? You're welcome, Susan. This is your guys' opportunity to have my brain work on your stuff. So Susan just shared that she wanted to share some kind of romantic comedy references, and I gave her an idea for a quiz, which she may have already thought of, but this is the opportunity for you guys to share. So if you're sharing, I love coming up with fun ideas and ways to kind of integrate things as well. Even for Bea, I think, you know, one of your things could be maybe you host like a ritual type thing where we light the candles, you know, some kind of almost like a ceremony piece or a ritual piece into your day. I remember one person that used to do, she was one of my clients. She did rituals, and she did like a morning ritual and an evening ritual. So in her challenge, she would actually lead people through a morning ritual and an evening ritual, and it was really special. Yeah, so a quote of the day, and you could get it designed pretty. Maybe even, Jennifer, you could make it be like you know, you can easily now make it like a desktop saver or a iPhone saver. So you could actually have each day where they could download these desktop images that have some of your favorite quotes on it, but they also have your link on the bottom. And you design them to look really pretty with your branding, but it's like this really cool gift that anyone who shows up in the Facebook group, they get the daily desktop to download, which would be super fun. Dira says, my challenge is going to be pulling a little piece of my program each day, and then we go deeper in the program. Yeah, I love that. I love that. And then what are some things that you're going to do to add more of you into it? Yeah, so create a daily ritual with your child, for sure. I could incorporate beautiful rituals or femininity principles. Yeah, so Indira, what if you had each day a beauty tip? And you could do like, so what if you had, like, okay, for example, this is when I get all creative and funny, but okay, so for example, you have, today we're gonna learn like how to do the smoky eyes, or, you know, some kind of tip, like just on eyes, and then you go into more of the philosophy. So, so they get a tangible beauty tip, but then you take it into that business realm, spiritual realm, femininity realm, where you could say, okay, now we've done our eyes, you know, whatever. The lesson in this is, how do you see yourself? I want you to look in the mirror now, and I want you to look beyond the makeup. I want you to look beyond whatever. And the challenge for you today is I want you to write out how you actually see yourself, and also how you want the world to see you. Okay? And then you could do like your lips, for example. So you could show some beautiful lip thing. I'm not a very good whatever makeup person. Okay, I'm having fun talking, so I'm gonna actually take this off for now. So Indira, so you can have like, you know, here's how you do your lips, or the best colors for your lips, or skin tone, or I don't know, stuff. But like for your lips, you could then say, what is the truth that you're speaking about yourself each day? Write your mantras and speak that truth to yourself. So do you see how I'm kind of molding like a really actionable, fun beauty makeup lesson with like a really deeper philosophy or message each day? Could be really, really super fun. Do you like it? Do you like that idea? I'm getting too many pages. Yes, tangible thing to the philosophy. Okay. Yeah, Heidi, so a song of the day, just like I do like a song each week with my center stage. I love that idea, and tying it in and having a playlist. So you could actually, that's something I've wanted to do and I just haven't, but actually create a playlist in one of the platforms, so they can download a playlist, which would be super fun for the tween audience, but also for parents, where there's this playlist that they could have. Yeah, Indira, yes. Love that. So eyes are the window to the soul. Lipstick choice would be how you speak up. Are you bold? Are you shy? You know, that kind of thing. What about some sort of blending, or I'm trying to think what else you could do. Like a blending, you know, contouring. Girlfriends. For another person, it's, you know, sitting down with a good book, right? And so what are those things that bring you bliss? Put them in this little wine glass, and so every day you can remember that each day you want to do something that's toast worthy, and so pick out something that adds that bliss, and that will be a toast worthy life, right? And then get them to take a picture. So get them to post a picture of what they did that day that brought them bliss. So people will post a picture of them in their bubble bath with their toes, hopefully not a full shot. Oh no! Oh no, you lost me. I didn't even know you lost me. I'm back now. Aw, sorry guys, that sucks. Okay, I was jabbering away. Linda, it was probably for you. I was talking about having a wine glass. Did you guys hear that part of things? Craziness. I didn't even know I jumped off that time. So I had a wine glass is what I was talking about, and putting in all the different ideas of what bring them bliss. Okay, so no, you didn't hear that? Okay, so I was just saying that one thing that I have done, recommended to other people who kind of talk about self-care and stuff, is that to make a jar of all the things that bring them happiness or bring them joy, or in your case, Linda, bring them bliss. And then on little slips of paper, they could have a wine glass there. It seems you're the toast-worthy life. And they could write down, you know, go for a walk, go out with the girlfriends, read a good book, you know, all the things that are simple little acts they can do each day to create that toast-worthy life. Put it in the wine glass, and then that would be your part of your challenge, is that each day they need to take out one of those things, and maybe they can create that on the first day. So take out one of those ideas, do them, and then post a picture of them doing it on the Facebook group. So it could be them, you know, a picture of them reading their book. It could be a picture of them out for a walk. It could be a picture of them in a bubble bath. It could be a picture of them sipping their wine, whatever it is that brings them bliss and happiness, and they post it in the group. Sound good? You guys are hearing me okay? I want to make sure you're hearing me again. I'm making sure you guys can hear me okay. I know there's that delay, so I'm just making sure. Okay, we're gonna keep moving on. Great, okay, that means you can hear me. Okay, we're gonna keep moving on. We've got 2 more steps. I hope you guys are doing awesome. Step number 6 is all about adding more value. Here's some ways you can add more value to your challenge. You can do a video series within the challenge. So when I did just a video series, it flopped. When I did a video series, thanks guys, I'm glad you can hear and see me. When I did a video series coupled with a Facebook challenge, it was a hit. So that's something that can add more value. Not everybody does videos in their challenges, but it adds more value. You can have guest speakers. So for my Courage-a-thon, I had a guest each day that talked about the overall message. Now, what I wouldn't do is have guest speakers that are kind of sharing their work, because then it pulls away from you and your program. But if they are saying, you know, this topic that Chantal is talking about, this is how I live it in my life, or this is how I use it in my business. It's just affirming the work that you do. It's not taking away from the work you do. So just be careful with guest speakers. You do want to keep it really simple if you do have that, but it can be a great bonus as well. Workbooks, you know, I just have a simple PDF for each of my videos, not always for every challenge, but I do find that people feel that's such a great value. And also when I have the PDFs that I share with them in the Facebook challenge, they're usually designed in the same way as my full program, and people will always compliment me on the design, and I'll say, yep, this is just a similar format as you'll see in the program. And so they know that they're getting something beautiful that's beautifully created. Hot seat calls. So you can add in hot seat calls where you do a Q&A or some kind of thing where you're giving coaching and support during the week. You can have live trainings, which we talked about, like webinars or live Q&A or live just training on audio where you hop on the phone and you do some live trainings. Or like I did for one of my challenges, I had a webinar a day. You could do a live call or a live training each day instead of a recorded video. I often add in office hours. Sometimes I do it every day. Sometimes I do it a couple times in the week. But I like to have an office hours, and you guys have all experienced an office hours, so you know what that's all about. Just hopping on at a certain time in Facebook, answering anybody's questions and giving feedback. Having prizes, we've talked about that already. It's great to give something away. It just encourages people to participate and take action. And we've also talked about having a scholarship, which you could give, you know, 1 to 3 people away, but it's a great way to promote your program as well as give back. And here we are talking about promotion as step number 7. So first step in promotion is knowing how many you need to have in your group. So typically you can convert, this is high on the high end, I said 10 to 20% of the engaged group. So you want to look at engagement level. So you could have 100 people sign up for your challenge, only 80 people come into the Facebook group, and only 40 are super engaged. Then you need to look at those numbers as well, okay? I usually take it from the people that show up in the Facebook group is where I take my 10 to 20% from, not from those who are super engaged. Because some people who are kind of just in the background or not super engaged still could purchase the program. Then you need to create your landing page or your opt-in page so you can be collecting emails. It just needs to be super simple. Just have your title, have a couple benefits or a main keyword, the things that they're going to take away from this, and then keep it really simple with just your name and your email. Make sure it's too good to miss. So why should they show up? Why are they going to invest this time? What are those key takeaways or benefits? Make it really good, too good to miss. Share on social media and Facebook, do Facebook ads, share in your groups, share on other groups, share on your pages, share on your profile pages, share on Twitter, Instagram, really get the word out, create some nice graphics that go with that so you can, so yeah, you want to make some graphics that you can promote on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram so that you can be out there sharing all over the place. Give back in Facebook groups. So get into Facebook groups that don't necessarily allow promotion and do a Q&A time or give back in some way, you know, ask a certain question and offer advice so people start to get to know who you are and start to follow you or like you or check you out, and then they see on your page, on your personal Facebook page, that you're promoting this challenge, and they're more likely to jump on in. Share with your audience, any groups that you are a part of, any of your email lists, creating powerful graphics I already mentioned, and you could create a contest for other people in your group to share, and the people who share the most or get the most likes on their shares or however you want to do it is a great way to get kind of some organic sharing and signing up. So as you guys know, I did do a contest for my second challenge this time around where they could win a chance to speak on stage if they, at Shine Live, if they got the most people signed up for my challenge. And I actually did that through an affiliate. So I did have them sign up to get an affiliate link because I needed to be able to track those signups. But you could do something more organic, even through like Rafflecopter or King Sumo giveaway, I think it's called, where they are giveaways and they just are really simple and easy. They don't cost a ton. You just set it up as a contest and it tracks it for you, how many people shared and how many people signed up. So that's another way to host a contest. The contest that I did for the Shine Live one actually ended up having about 600 people sign up through those people. Not all of them were super my people, right? Like, so you will get, with contests, you may not get as high quality leads as you would in just you sharing and promoting, but you will get some great leads as well that you wouldn't have gotten anyways. And it's not a cost to you. You will have to give them something as a prize, but it's not an extra cost out of your pocket like Facebook ads is. So those are the steps to promoting. I'm going to come back over here and see. Andy says, I love the jar idea. Mom and child could write down 5 things to spend some time together. Yeah, I love that. That's such a great idea. So the child pulls one each day so they get a little bit of quality time together. So great. This is so not woo-woo, which is what makes my product program on values purpose so different from what else is out there. I'm going to share a cocktail recipe each day. Perfect. Yeah. For sure, it's like tangible, actionable, take action. You got to own who you are and how you do it. That's perfect. What percentage of people who sign up usually engage? 10%. Oh, usually engage. So, I mean, that's a tough one. I would say, so for example, if you have, like I had 1,500 people sign up, I probably had 500 people in the group, and I probably had, well, actually, I probably had more than that. I probably did have about half in the group. And then probably I'd say, I need to work the numbers actually. I would say it was probably more like 250 that were commenting here and there, and probably actually 100 that were super engaged. And then from there, you know, I had about 60 people sign up. So I do take kind of that halfway mark. When I was doing them smaller challenges, I would have much higher engagement. So when I had 200 people sign up, there was typically, you know, 50 to 100 that actually were in the group and engaging. When I would have, you know, 600 people, actually it's always about half. I would say about half of the people are really engaged typically. And that's usually the half mark is usually what you can kind of base your conversion on, like your 10%. Hope that makes sense. Okay, so here's my first ever Facebook challenge. This is some of my graphics that I created. Fear holding you back, prepare for a breakthrough, truth or dare, your fate is up to you alone. This was for my week-long challenge. It was really successful. I had 200 people sign up, but I had no list. I had nothing for this new business, and this was my first ever Facebook challenge. So I found it was a super big success. This one was my first 10K launch. So this is when I launched Center Stage using the Facebook challenge, and I called it the Speaking Extravaganza. So it was a free week-long event focused on getting you speaking, gaining more connection, credibility, clients, and cash through speaking. The videos that I did for this were very do-it-yourself. I just filmed it in my living room with my iPhone. So really, really, really simple videos, but they were great content. So that's an image or graphic that I used for my 10K launch for my Speaking Extravaganza Facebook group. Just seeing if I'm back again. This is so crazy. I'm going to stop my screen share. Am I back again? Okay. I don't know what's going on. See, see, this is where I get all freaked out about webinars. I'm so grateful. The webinars I did for my challenge, they all went off without any tech problems, which was so great. So those were a couple examples of my ads. And then here's another one for my 100K launch. So my 100K launch is when I got professional videos done. I redid my sales page. So it was it's basically what you guys saw this launch, but this was a year ago. I repurposed everything basically. But this is where I found I did 3 weeks of training and it was too much. I found the first week people were really engaged. The second and third week, they weren't. So that's where I went back to just the 5-day challenge for this launch. But my 100K launch was last year, and I did do, like I said, the professional videos, the professional PDFs. So I did spend more on that launch, but you don't have to do that. I don't think that mattered. It was the content that really matters. But I did have my sales page redone, and it's what you see this round as well. So those are just some graphics and some ideas of what your graphics could look like, and some of the things. So I called this one Speak Your Way to the Top, but it still had that Speaking Extravaganza kind of title with it. So, woo! Okay, ladies. So that is everything that I have to share with you guys about Facebook challenges. I hope you guys have gotten so much from this. So I want to ask if there are any questions about anything that we have covered in this time together. Ask away or forever hold your peace. Not really, because you know where to find me. But ask away. Ask me any questions that you might have about your Facebook challenge or anything that we've talked about today. Maybe you missed my percentage thing because the thing had gone off. So for the Facebook challenge, the percentage of people who usually engage, I said it's typically usually about 50%. It could be higher if you have a smaller group. I find that there's more engagement with smaller groups. But for example, if I had 1,500 people sign up, there were probably 800 that came into the Facebook group. I don't actually know for sure. I should probably look at that. But probably about 800 that came into the Facebook group. Probably about 500 that were pretty engaged, and probably a little bit less than that were really engaged. Probably even, I'd say 200 to 300 that were really engaged. You're welcome. Valuable as always. Good, good, good. So yes, so I want you guys, I hope that you were taking action as I was walking through it. I want to make sure that you guys are ready to rock and roll. Magical as ever. Yay, Bea. So grateful. Really thinking about, what is the purpose of what I'm doing? What is the timeline? Making sure you put this in your calendar, that you give yourself some time to promote it, and then give yourself some time to promote your program on the other end. Making sure that you really bring in the elements of you, and look at, it probably will take you like 10 minutes, really, once you get into the flow of like, what's day 1 going to be? What's day 2 going to cover? What's day 3? And it doesn't have to be difficult, and it doesn't have to be long. Remember, simple and less is more. So keep things simple so that you can take action and you can get results. So really look at each day, what is the results I want them to have? How can I get them to take action? What is the simple thing that I'm going to get them to do each day? And then what are the fun things that I can add into this? What are the gifts that I can give? What are the fun personality things that I can add in that's going to make it even more fun and so much more me? And then looking at promotion, how am I going to get this out there? It's about promoting it, sharing it, getting it out there. You can use Facebook ads. You can use just in groups. You can reach out to people one-on-one. You can get a contest going. You can get people, you can just ask people to share. And I love that in the 10K launch group, I think it was Heidi that brought up that, hey, let's start a group where we actually share each other's challenges. That's a great thing to do. So that's like affiliate partners, but without, you know, all the hassle of the money and the affiliate. It's just because you're going to support each other in getting this out there. So you guys all have some great things going on. Support each other, share each other's work as well. So yeah, so there's lots of ways to promote. Even remember, I had no list, no website when I first started that first challenge that tied into this work, and was able to grow my list by about 200, and was able to then lead into my next challenge, which I think I can't actually remember, but I think it was 250 to 300 people in that challenge. I can't remember, like my 10K launch challenge, I think I had about 300 people, and then had, you know, 18 people sign up from that. So that was really cool. And again, that fits with the 50%. I probably had 300 people sign up. 50% of them were really engaged. 10% of the really engaged bought. So that's a great formula for you guys to think about. And don't get stressed out if you only have 50 people and you're like, I'm only gonna get 5 people signed up. That could be, but you also have other ways that you can follow in the 10K for promotion of get people on the phone, reach out to people who weren't in the challenge, and share why you think it'd be a great thing for them. So the Facebook challenge is that great foundation that's going to bring the most people to you with the least amount of time and effort and money investment and least amount of technology, and really provide the most value, the most amazingness experience for them, get the most conversions for you, and then you have to play with some of the other numbers as well and some of the other options. But you know where to find me when you have questions on this stuff. After center stage is done, in a couple of weeks, you know that you get to continue on in the Shine Inner Circle Mastermind, and that's where you bring whatever questions at any time, the things that you're working on, the things that you're launching, and you can bring those questions, and we still have monthly hot seat calls and weekly office hours, and we have that community ongoing for you guys as you move through this journey and continue to launch and grow and build your business and get out there in a bigger way. So this is just the beginning, ladies, and it's super fun and exciting, and I'm so grateful for all of you. I don't see any questions coming in, so I am guessing that you are all good and filled right up to the top with everything you need. So again, if you have any questions, you can just reach out in the Facebook group and ask away as you're doing your challenges. I've seen Tamara's already taking action, and you saw some of the feedback she was able to receive. So it's a great place to share as well. So you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much, Linda. I hope you guys found this super great for you as a bonus. Again, this was just a free bonus for you taking action and jumping into center stage. I love to over deliver and add more value, and so I hope that you are finding that it is the case. So thank you again for being here. Have a great rest of your day, and I can't wait to see all of your Facebook challenges. Make sure I know when you guys are going live, because I want to join all of them. I'm gonna have to be a busy girl doing all these challenges, but I know that they are of huge value and service to the world. And look at it that way too, not just about how many people are gonna sign up, but about how many lives you're able to change just because you're showing up, you're stepping out there, and you're giving them something of incredible value. That's what it's really about. All right, thank you everybody. Take care, and there will be the I will share the recording link, but it's actually going to just stay on this page for now. And then I'll also share the slides as a PDF for you guys as well. Okay? Take care, everyone. Bye.